Alright guys, here we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a little bit more today about rounding. On the last test, we had a little bit of an issue. I think the only issue that we had actually was with rounding. Okay, so we're just going to go over that quickly. You can watch this video, hopefully learn a thing or two, and then we can clear up the issues that we had, and hopefully we can become math whizzes after that. Alright, so here we go. Let's take a look here, guys. So I'm going to start off with a number 345,643. Okay, let's go with that first. Okay, all right. So we're gonna round this number. Let's go to let's say the nearest. I want you to round this number to the nearest hundreds place. Okay, we're gonna round this number to the nearest hundreds place. All right. So we'll stick this here. Look this here. Okay. All right. So whenever we start, the very first thing we want to do is we want to make sure that I always like to underline the hundreds place. Okay, well, I know that right there is the hundreds place. Perfect. Okay, so step number one, I'm just going to put here, is to underline the place you're rounding to. Okay. All right, so that way you guys have that information. All right, the very next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look over to the right side of that. Okay, I'm looking to the right. That number is a 4. Okay, so it's a number 4. So we have to keep in mind the things that we've learned before, and what we've learned previously is that if it's a 4, 3, 2, or 1, okay, so anything from a 1 to 4, that we're rounding the number down. If it's a 5 or higher, okay, if it's a 5 or higher, we are rounding that number up. So in this case, it's a 4. So we're rounding this number down. Okay. So what that means is we're going to put it as 345,600. Okay. That's what I round it to. I'm going to give you a little bit of background on this. I'm going to show you what we can do here. So imagine that this is on a number line. Okay. We're running to the nearest hundred. So I'm going to put one of the nearest hundreds here and one of the nearest hundreds over here. So this is 345,000. We're going to go 600. Okay. And then over here on this side, we're going to go 345,700. Okay, so notice what I did. Here's the 6. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at the hundreds place. We have 100 over here, and then the next higher 100 over here. All right, so in the middle, right in the middle of these two, would be 345,650. Okay, now we're looking at this. This is the last two numbers here in the tens in the ones place. It's a 43. Well, this is 50 here, so 43 is less than 50, and it's actually fairly close to 50, so this number would actually go right about there. Okay, that's where it would go on this number line. So we can see that it's much closer to the 345,600 than it is to the 345,700. Hence, we said that this number, rounded to the nearest hundreds, is 345,600. Okay? All right, now, let me just show you one more thing here. What I would highly suggest that you is to make sure that we are rounding and keeping these steps in order here. Okay, so the very first step that I would always say to you is underline the place you're rounding to. Okay, that's the very first step to keep in mind. Okay, the next step is you are going to look at the number to the right. Okay, and like we said, if it's a 1 through 4, you are going to round the number down, and if it's a 5 or higher, you're rounding the number up. Okay, one more quick and then we'll finish up here. All right, so let's take a look here. Let's go with the number 349,473. Okay, there we go. So here we are, 345,473. We're going to round to the nearest, let's round to the nearest hundreds place again. All right, so here's the hundreds place. I'm looking to the right-hand side. It's a 5 or higher. It's a 7, so I'm rounding this number up. So this number in the hundreds place gets bumped up to the next highest number. So it's going to go 349,000. This becomes a 5, and everything after that becomes a 0. So this number, rounded to the nearest hundreds, is 349,500. hopefully you've learned a thing or two. If you still have questions, talk to me, ask me in class, and hopefully we can get that cleared up. Thanks for watching, guys.